So does New York hate self-defense, or do they hate certain races of people? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you yet another case of self-defense on the New York subway system that has become a criminal case, although it should not be. Now, the previous case was between Jordan Neely and Daniel Penny. We know how the whole thing played out. Jordan Neely, he was acting the fool on the train, threatening people, scary. Daniel Penny comes from behind, puts him in the restraint. Jordan Neely dies sometime after. Now Daniel Penny's being charged second-degree manslaughter. This case, the new case, is of a 20-year-old also named Jordan. His name is Jordan Williams. He was on the train with his girlfriend. Now, 36-year-old Victor Udraogo comes up and attacks the girlfriend. I think he punches her in the face. Now, there's a fight that happens, and in the midst of the fight, Jordan Williams pulls out a knife and stabs Victor Udraogo and kills him. Now, this is a clear self-defense case, okay? The guy, Victor, came up and attacked the girlfriend. The boyfriend intervened and defended her, defended himself. The problem is that he had a knife, which you cannot have in New York City. I did not know about that, but that's what it is. And, of course, self-defense, it gets a little murky, right? You want to defend yourself and defend others, well, you might go to the penitentiary. Now, there's a key difference in these cases. They both had bail, but guess who had their bail removed and who didn't? Now, before we even go into it, let's roll the clip. If you want to see this clip in full without my commentary, link, as always, will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Thanks for being with us. I'm Steve Lacey.
And I'm Natasha Berman. The attorney and family for the 20-year-old suspect, Jordan Williams, says he acted in self-defense. They say the person he stabbed had threatened other passengers and assaulted his girlfriend.
Fox 5's Linda Schmidt joins us live from Brooklyn Criminal Court, where the arraignment just wrapped up. Linda, what's the latest?
Yeah, hi there, Steve and Natasha. Well, first of all, when this incident happened on the subway, on the J train on Tuesday, some people immediately started making parallels between this incident and the one involving Daniel Penny, including the lawyer for Jordan Williams in this case. Now, he had said to reporters earlier today before court that his client was being treated differently, and he was making claims of racism because his client was arrested immediately after the incident on Tuesday, while Daniel Penny was arrested 2 weeks after the chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Now go ahead and take a look at this video here, because this is Jordan Williams. He is surrounded by his family as he left court today. Now, in the incident involving him on Tuesday, he had used a knife to stab Victor Udraogo in the chest. He says Udraogo got on the subway on Tuesday, was yelling and threatening riders, and then hit him and his girlfriend. That is when Williams says he stabbed him, killing him.
Now, can we pause right here? So there were threats and whatnot made before the actual fight happened, right? So it looks like if you go back to Daniel Penny, it was the same thing going on. It was threats and all this and that, to the point where he could have just exploded at any point in time, speaking about Jordan Neely. So Daniel Penny does the thing to prevent him from going over the edge, which is to hold him, to restrain him, so there's not a fight, so others don't get hurt, and really, so Jordan Neely didn't get hurt. Now, unfortunately, Neely died, but I think there could have been other factors going on that contributed to his death, aside from the restraint, okay? But this case is the exact same. The only difference is how it ultimately played out versus, the restraint versus the stabbing and the races of the people involved. That is the only difference.
Now, the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office had asked for $100,000 bail for Williams. By the way, that is the exact same bail that Daniel Penny has through the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. But in this case here in Brooklyn, the judge said no bail and released Williams.
So you heard that, Daniel Penny. So like the cases, we've already established how these are the same case, essentially. Minor differences, but ultimately the same thing. Self-defense subway system. In both cases, somebody dies. One guy died after, I'm not saying because of necessarily, but after the restraint. The other guy dies after a stabbing. but both self-defense on the subway. Both are being charged with manslaughter. Both had recommended bails of $100,000. Daniel Penny's bail stuck, but Jordan Williams' bail was removed by the judge. Funny how that works.
Now, his family, again, here supporting him today, and his lawyer, once again, had claimed to reporters that before court that there was a double standard here, that his client was being treated unfairly. But now he has changed his mind. Here's what he had to say and what Williams' mom had to say.
Well, I can walk that back. Look, I think him being charged right away and held was obviously different than how Mr. Penny was released and had a few weeks and then had to voluntarily surrender himself.
But do you think that was racist?
That was a big difference, but then we saw the difference today where they asked for the same amount that Daniel Penny's bail was, and this judge released my client. So
can we just talk about this for a minute? I think that a lot of what's happening with both of these cases is public opinion, okay? Because in this case, there was an accusation of racism because he was arrested right away versus the 2 weeks that Daniel Penny had to turn himself in, okay? So to overcorrect is like, okay, let him go with no bail. You see what I'm saying? So that they're trying to overcorrect. In Daniel Penny's case, let's hold him and have the bail because we took too long to arrest him. And also because there's a bunch of public outcry calling him a racist and whatnot. I think a lot of what's happening right now in our system of justice it's because of public pressure and not really because of the rules that are on the books or the discretion of the judge or anything like that. It's really just about public outside pressure, in my opinion.
I can't applaud the court system enough.
How Jordan was raised, his upbringing. I'm not tooting my own horn. However, his upbringing is...
That's his mom right there, April.
What made him the wonderful young man that he is today, and he cares about life. He cares about the lives of others, yes. And he is extremely remorseful.
And another thing, his mother, who you just heard from there, April Williams, as well as Williams' aunt, they both said, look, this has nothing to do with Daniel Penny's case. There are no similarities. There are no parallels. The only thing that is the same is that it happened on a subway.
That's not true. That's not true at all. But I know that they don't want to say it's the same because they might be, trying to toe the line with their whole pro-black thing, talking about, oh, Daniel Penny shouldn't have done that. They may be the ones that say that, Daniel Penny shouldn't have done that. He should get arrested. But then their boy didn't do anything, which is ridiculous because it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. It's self-defense. Okay, you got some nut job on the subway, on drugs probably, threatening people, harassing people. It's the same setup. You heard it right there. He was first threatening and harassing people, and then that went to violence. The same thing that Jordan Neely had been arrested for before, assault, battery, things of that nature, threatening people. It was the same thing, the same kind of person that you may run into on the subway. Now, rather than Jordan Neely going out of control and actually attacking people, he was restrained by Daniel Penny before that was able to happen. And that was self-defense, 100%. In this case, there was no Daniel Penny to restrain Victor Odorogo from attacking people. So he attacks people, punches a girlfriend in the face, a fight ensues, a knife gets produced, he gets stabbed, he dies. It's the same case. It's just slightly different in the way it was handled and the outcome. Daniel Penny had no weapon. There was no stabbing. It was only a restraint. The intent was not even to hurt him. But in the case of a fight, it's not even about the intent to hurt somebody. It's about the intent to defend yourself. It's the same thing. And I'm going to say this as I close. They shouldn't be treated differently as far as, the bill, no bill or whatever. But they also there also shouldn't even be a charge for either one. Why am I being charged with manslaughter when some random nut job on the subway comes up to me, punches me in the face, we get in the fight and he dies? Because I got a knife? I mean, I can't defend myself. What if I hit him one time in his jaw, he falls on the ground, hits his head on the bar and he dies that way. Am I now being charged with manslaughter after I'm minding my business, listening to my headphones, my Beats by Dre, my AirPods? I get punched in the face, I defend myself, and then he dies after we get in the fight? And the same thing with Jordan Neely. You're on the subway platform trying to fight people, threaten people, telling them, you know, I heard everybody you on here. I don't care about dying. I don't care about going to jail. I restrain him, and then he dies, probably of drugs or something like that. These cases are crazy. New York City, I could never. I don't know how y'all do it. I hate New York. New Yorkers, people that I know up there, love y'all. But the city, the rules, regulations, the laws, the trash, the homelessness, the drugs, the crack smoke, the weed smoke, I'm good on that. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about these cases? Are they the same? Speaking about Daniel Penny and the young man here, 20-year-old Jordan Williams, are they the same case but handled differently and they're seen differently by the general public? There will be no protests for Jordan Odarugo, but there were for, not Jordan Odarugo, Victor Odarugo, but there was for Jordan Neely. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is a clear double standard here. This is public pressure. It's not even about it's not even about what's right in the eyes of the law. In my opinion, it's about public pressure. And again, in either case, there shouldn't even be a charge. Why am I being charged with a crime when I'm defending myself? I'm minding my business. I get punched in my mouth and we get in a fight and the person who punched me in the face winds up dead. Why is that my fault? I don't care if I got a gun, a knife, a baton, a taser, a pair of Timberland boots. Doesn't really matter. I was the victim. I defended myself. And with Daniel Penny, he was protecting others and himself and the young man that he had on the ground from himself. Unfortunately, things just went wrong. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.